Hello, everybody. My name is Jamie Hoag, and I am a board member of Project Place, and I'm very proud to be with you today to discuss voting in the age of COVID. First and foremost, I want to say that I hope you are all safe and healthy during this difficult time. I want to thank you for everything you do for Project Place. You are a special part of the organization, and there would not be an organization without you. And I just want to thank you. I've been involved with Project Place for around 20 years. It's a special place to me. I know it's a special place to you all. And I also want to thank the staff who work very hard to make it such a wonderful organization. So, with that said, let's get started. My presentation is going to focus on the September 1st primary, which is coming up in only just a few weeks in Massachusetts. I'll do a follow-up video about the general election on November 3rd, but first I wanted to give you specific information about the primary that's coming up and some relevant deadlines. So let's get this started. Um, Big picture overview. Well, in Massachusetts, due to COVID-19, the Massachusetts legislature passed a law, and the governor signed it into law a few weeks ago that expands voting options for people given the current pandemic to make sure that voting is accessible, safe, and secure for everyone. And one of the things that we've done in Massachusetts, is allow voters to vote by mail. Voters can apply for a ballot, get mailed a ballot, and then simply complete the ballot and return it in a postage prepaid envelope. I'll get into more details in a second, but that's one. It's new to Massachusetts to have expanded vote by mail for every voter, and I'll discuss that in one or two slides. Um, you can also vote in person. There are several in-person voting options. You can vote early in person starting next Saturday for August 22nd to the 28th. You can vote in the September 1st primary early, and you can also vote on primary election day, September 1st itself. So as this big picture overview slide says, and I'm not fancy with graphics, so hopefully it's not it's clear and concise, but that there are new options to vote, several options to vote. And so voting is, even though we're going through a pandemic, and this is a difficult time, it's important that everyone have the ability to exercise their right to vote. So the legislature acted and expanded these options and provided these expanded options. So let me get started and go through them one by one. First and foremost, I should start with this important fact that in order to vote, you have to be registered to vote. And as I said, the September 1st primary is right around the corner. The main contest on the September 1st primary is the U.S. Senate race between Congressman Joe Kennedy and Ed Markey. But in order to vote in that contest, in that campaign, in that election, you have to be registered to vote by August 22nd at 8 p.m. So that's, if you're watching this on Monday, it's this upcoming Saturday, August 22nd, 8 p.m. is the deadline to register to vote. So if you're not registered to vote, it's not late. You still have time. And there are two ways to register to vote. Uh, if you have a state ID, you can register online, and I give you the link, and hopefully your instructors and your contacts at Project Place will share this link with you and all the information that I provided in this PowerPoint. But you can register online. It's safe, it's secure, it's quick, it's easy. You can do that in as little as 5 minutes. Otherwise, you can mail in an application or deliver it to City Hall. I'm going to ask your Project Place friends to email to make sure you all have access to a vote by mail application, a hard form that you can fill out and deliver to City Hall, or just drop it in the mail and get it to City Hall. And as long as you do that by August 22nd at 8 p.m., you can be registered to vote and participate in the September 1st primary. So it's simple and easy to register. You have to be 18 years old, obviously, to vote in this country. and a resident of Massachusetts to vote in Massachusetts. So you can either, again, as a summary, you can vote online, register to vote online, or register to vote through the mail, the hard form that will be handed out to you and emailed to you, and hopefully available at Project Place. So you can fill that out, and we can help you get that back to City Hall in time for you to register by the August 22nd deadline. The next slide here is so what I mentioned about vote by mail. So once you register to vote, you will have the option to apply to receive a vote by mail ballot. And it's simple thing to do. It's quick, it's easy. This vote by mail application that I have on this PowerPoint here is available in hard form. And again, I'm going to ask your friends at Project Place to make sure everyone has access to these forms. All you'd have to do is fill it out and get it back to the local clerk. If you're in Boston, if you just get it back to the Boston City Hall by the 26th at 5 p.m., you'll be registered to vote by mail. And what that means is that you will receive a ballot in the mail. So if you fill this out, you just check what what election you want to receive a ballot for. So in this case, you would likely request all 2020 elections. You choose your primary ballot. So whether you're a Democratic, Republican, a member of the Green Rainbow Party or the Libertarian Party, you'd fill out your ballot. If you want to participate in the September 1st primary, you have to either be a Democrat or someone who's an independent, not enrolled in any party. But this form is simple. You sign it and then date it and get it back to City Hall by August 26th at 5 p.m. And you could either do that by dropping it in the mail, or because it's close, I'd advise working with folks at Project Place to have it hand delivered to the Boston City Clerk's office by the 26th at 5 p.m. So what happens next? Next is once you do apply and do apply to vote by mail and successfully submit your application, your ballots will be mailed to you throughout August. So about a week or so after you apply, hopefully a week, you'll receive a ballot in the mail, and that's why it's important to apply early, because you want the ballot as soon as possible. And the ballot will include a postage prepaid envelope. So all you have to do is vote the ballot, which is very simple. You take the form out, select the candidate you want to vote for, put it in the envelope that's provided, sign the envelope, and mail it back, drop it in the mail. You could also hand deliver ballots to the clerk's office. Again, hand deliver the ballots to the clerk's office in City Hall. Unlike the application, only the voter or a member of the voter's family can actually return a ballot for the voter. And so, if it's getting close to the September 1st deadline, I'd encourage you to, if it's too late to drop it in the mail, just to drop it off at City Hall. And again, because as the last point here emphasizes, ballots must be due, not postmarked by close of polls, which is at 8 p.m. on September 1st. So if you drop your ballot in the mail at 7 o'clock on the 1st, it will not be counted. It has to be in the hands of the clerk by 8 p.m. on September 1st. So if you're running up against the deadline, I would say if it's a week before, I would hand deliver it to the clerk's office just to make sure it arrives and gets counted. But this is an opportunity to vote by mail. This is expanded opportunity for everyone. This is new in the Commonwealth to allow everyone the opportunity to vote by mail, and it's an option that many people are utilizing, but it's not the only way to vote. And I'll turn to that right now. So you can vote in person. If you're late, if you really prefer not to vote by mail, if you think you prefer to vote in person, which a lot of people are preferring to vote in person, then there are two options for you. There's early voting in Massachusetts, which goes from the 22nd to the 28th of August, and then election day voting on September 1st. Now, in order to vote in the early person voting from the 22nd to the 28th, you of course have to be registered, and but you can go to one of the several early voting location sites in Boston and vote your ballot. Show up, say you'd like to vote in the primary, and they will allow you to cast a ballot in person, and then also on election day on September 1st. So again, this goes into those details. Now, for early in-person voting, like I said, the 22nd to the 28th, which includes the weekend of the 22nd and the 23rd, uh, you can vote in City Hall and during the week, during business hours. And then also there are several other locations that are open for early voting besides City Hall. But City Hall is not, it's in downtown Boston. If you're in Dorchester, if you're in the South End, it's not always convenient to get down to City Hall to vote. So there'll be other locations throughout the city for you to vote early from the 22nd to the 28th. And you can find those locations if you type in the website www.massearlyvote.com. You can find Boston location and hours. It'll bring you to a website, and then all you just slide down, select Boston, and it'll give you all the options on where you could vote early from the 22nd to the 28th, including again on the weekend of the 22nd and 23rd. So this is this is the first time we've had expanded early voting in a primary in Massachusetts. This allows you to stretch out the window and give you more opportunity to vote in person. So if the 22nd doesn't work for you, you have the 23rd. If the 23rd doesn't work for you, you have the 24th. The 24th, you have the 25th, and so on and so forth. So many options to vote in this September 1st primary. Again, just check out www.massearlyvote.com to find the Boston locations. And I know someone at Project Place would be more than happy to help you navigate that process, as would I. And so I'm going to make myself available to anyone at Project Place who would like to get in touch with me and ask me any question, however I can be helpful. I think voting is key to our democracy. It's an important time in our country, and I think we all need to exercise our right to vote. And I think it's so important, and I want to do whatever I can to facilitate that right and your ability to exercise your right to vote. So let me get into the last way to vote here. Um, is voting on September 1st, the actual primary day. And so this is the third and final way to vote. If you haven't been able, if you didn't vote by mail, if you didn't vote early between the 22nd and 28th, you can vote on September 1st. And polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And the locations, you can check out the boston.gov website to find out polling locations throughout Boston and your polling location specifically on election day. And one thing I would say is because of COVID-19, some of these polling locations have changed because they might be consolidated for public health reasons. And so check before you go vote. Check online and check the boston.gov website for your specific voting location. And you'll be assigned a voting location based on where you live, and it's easy. And the polls again are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I think that's the last slide for me. Again, it's just an overview here. You can complete a vote by mail application, which are due August 26th at 5 p.m. Ballots will be mailed. They're on their way now. Ballots are being mailed to voters who've already applied as I speak and as I record this. Voter ballots must be received by the clerk by 8 p.m. on September 1st. So again, must be received, not postmarked. So you can hand deliver it. And the clerk in Boston is in Boston City Hall. And the voter is the only voter or a family member are the only people who can return a ballot for a voter. And that's important to note. But you could also, again, if you're voting by mail, you can just simply drop it in the mail in time for it to arrive by September 1st at 8 p.m. And finally, in-person voting. A couple of options here, as I've mentioned before, from August 22nd to the 28th, including the weekend of the 22nd and 23rd. So this week, upcoming weekend, and next week, and then Election Day voting on September 1st from 7 to 8 p.m. Again, I just want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope my presentation has been clear. It's your right to vote. It's your power. You are empowered to vote for your elected officials, those men and women who represent you, whether it's in local office, in federal office, or in state office. And I want to do whatever I can to make sure you can exercise that vote, and especially do it in a safe way during the COVID-19 pandemic. So I will end there, and I will say that anyone at Project Place who needs my help, they know how to reach me, and willing to answer any questions. And hopefully they'll provide you with both the vote by mail application and also the registration application too, for those who are not actually registered to vote. And again, the primary is on September 1st, and the race is between Congressman Joe Kennedy and Senator Ed Markey. And so hope you will vote in that election and make your voice heard. So thank you again very much for all you do for Project Place. I value you, and I value the staff and everyone involved in such a wonderful organization. So thank you very much, and be in touch.